Joining me for more is the Daily Telegraph's Tim Blair and former New South Wales Counter-Terrorism and Police Minister David Elliott. Hi to you both. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. David, we'll start with you. Since October 7, there have been calls for intifada, resistance, uprising. Now we've got an ISIS-inspired terror attack in the US. As a former counter-terrorism minister yourself, do you think that this is a one-off? Or have we seen this coming for some time? Should more have been done to counter the threat in the first place?
No, it's not a one-off. I mean, everybody who thought that the withdrawal of American and Australian troops from Afghanistan meant the end of the war on terror was just living in Disneyland. This will continue. It's continuing as a result of a number of ancient scores that still need to be settled. But it also, obviously, the October 7 attack re-engaged and certainly reignited a lot of those ancient hatreds. And of course, I think what we've seen in New Orleans today is an attempt for people to ensure that the West responds. Now, I think the West has to respond, but this is very much a case of I dare you, Donald Trump.
Well, I think a lot of us are waiting for Donald Trump to get in and see what he actually does, because by all accounts, he is the only leader in this world with the moral clarity who is willing to actually stand up for what is right. And, you know, the FBI says that this terrorist was not acting alone. They're still searching for people. Have a listen to the latest.
The FBI was still looking to see if they could find any more IEDs, which they had found in the area. We're talking about those potential improvised explosive devices. We know that some were found in that truck. Officials also were able to locate IEDs in the area. So that is part of the latest, but we also just learned moments ago that investigators are also going through video which shows 3 men and a woman who may have been involved in placing those suspected explosive devices here in this French Quarter.
Tim, this is bigger than just one terror attack, isn't it? I mean, this sounds like a cell planning multiple attacks.
Absolutely, and I think we also should be aware that when we say terror cell, that hasn't really been the case for a long time. This is a movement much as Nazism was in the 30s and 1940s. No one ever referred to Hitler leading, a Nazi cell. It was a government, much like Hamas, that exported a range of violence around the world, as does Hamas. And it's when these things come together, Hamas on October 7, as David Elliott mentioned, and it ties into what sometimes are referred to as lone wolf attacks. But, the ISIS flag is a bit of a giveaway, isn't it, Danica? That's a bit of a telltale on the origins of this particular case.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's astonishing the FBI from the start said that this wasn't a terror attack and then changed their minds.